Alright, universe, what do you get when you take the movie Q, sprinkle it with a little bit of Final Destination, and stir in just a pinch of the movie Saw franchise? You get this movie. And welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, and I'm riding solo on this video. And guys, I know you see the change in the duds around me, in the scenery. That's right, I got my office back together. I got the Comic UHQ back in full effect. There have been some serious life-altering changes to my life between the end of the year and the beginning half of the year, dealing with some sickness, loss of family, things of that nature. But Comic U HQ is back in full effect, and behold its nerdtastic glory, universe. You're welcome. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to be bringing you the first movie review of 2019, and we kind of all pull our weight. I seem to be somewhat of the movie guru in the team, if you will, so I'm going to give you the first movie review. Now, with the start of every year, you kind of get generally a horror slash thriller as your first opening movie to the year, and this is kind of no different. Last year's first movie, which was Insidious: The Last Key, same director, which is Adam Rotier, something like that. He's bringing us another movie, and that is Escape Room. That's right, starring Deborah Ann Wolf from Daredevil, if you will, Netflix's unfortunate canceled series. We have Taylor Russell, Tyler LeBeer, and Logan Miller. These guys got together and gave us a film, if you will. And this is a high concept film. I know after thinking about it kind of is like, oh, of course they're going to do that. With so many escape rooms that are popping up here and there, it was just inevitable for this movie to come out to us, guys. And as always, here in Comic Universe, I'm going to give you the good. I'm going to give you the bad. I'm going to give you the badass. Now, first and foremost, the good is the atmosphere in this room. They do a really good job of putting you in the heat of the moment, from room to room, all with different themes, and very interesting technology used in some of these rooms as well, where to me I'd be kind of confused as to how this is a thing prior to actually being in that room and having to try and figure out a puzzle. That's kind of one of the things that stood out to me as one of the good things about it. Is just it was really cool, really polished. The chemistry is hit for the most part, and probably about a good 3/4 of the movie. It's really, really good. They give you some good special effects. Nothing is too cheesy here. Gives you that high intense, nail biting. You feel the tension in the room, if you will. I may use the word room quite often in this review, guys. And if I sound a little weird, like I said, I'm just kind of getting over some strep throat, and it's just been kind of kind of hard on the throat, if you will. Man, I shouldn't have said that. That is definitely something that's going to come back to haunt me, I'm sure. If not by anybody else, but by DPZ, he's going to get me for that one. So, the bad. It's the first movie of the year, you get that it kind of takes a dip in some places where I kind of was hoping it wouldn't. I had high hopes for this film. I don't want to say that I didn't like it. It's just there's a lot of tropes that it follows, and it's just really, you can kind of see it happening before it happens. You can almost telegraph who's going to die in each scene, whose room this is designed for, and things to that nature. So it's kind of blah in that, and it does kind of fall apart in the third act, and the actual ending to the film, I'm going to give really no spoilers, but the actual end of the film is relatively decent. I can deal with the ending. It's not great, but it was good. But then there's like this post-credit scene that kind of makes me go, you should have just ended it while you were ahead. But clearly they're setting up to create a franchise here. So if this is the next Saw, I kind of see it coming. Now, let me give you guys the badass. What is really, really badass about this movie is that you can follow along and to some degree try to figure out on how to change the course of the direction that they're headed, try to solve some of the puzzles. The movie does a good job of getting you involved, if you will. And me being an avid gamer, and I love survival horror games, which is notorious for giving you these puzzles to try and figure out. And as well as like your gods of war and things like that. At least in the early days, you had these puzzles you had to figure out if you wanted to either live or get past this next part of the level, or to advance more into the story. You had to solve these puzzles, and I gotta say they did a good job in allowing us to follow along, and sometimes I figured it out before they did. Another really badass part of the film that I didn't see coming going into the film, but each room is kind of designed. There's things in the room that kind of speak to certain characters. Like you have this is a very mild spoiler. It's not going to change the movie in any way, shape, or form. But you have this one lady who she gets burned, okay, and she's a survivor of something. And of course, when she's in the room that's themed around fire, it's really hard for her. And so you kind of get that. And then there's these things to kind of throw in these psychological twists or speed bumps, okay, or forks in the road for these characters to kind of fail. Now, the concept overall of this movie I didn't see coming in, but it did, unfortunately, I think, bring it a little bit of a letdown. And it was, all of these characters are survivors of something. And they were brought together, okay, to basically almost arena style try to survive. And it's basically for entertainment value. And I was just like, oh, really? All right, I guess that's what we're doing now. So, but it was kind of stereotypical. But overall, it wasn't that bad. This movie is not as bad as some people are saying. But I do hear a lot of reviewers out there giving it a relatively good, decent to review. And for the very first movie of the year, this is actually not bad. And Insidious: The Last Key wasn't that bad either. So they both kind of, I would say, are kind of middle of the road, if you will. So the Rotten Tomatoes score gives this a 52. The audience gives it a 64. Metacritic a 49, and the user rating is a 6.1. Me, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a solid, maybe a low 3. It's definitely for the first movie of the year. Go out and see it opening weekend, which is this weekend. It's a good time with the honey. If you like solving those types of puzzles, or if you like escape rooms, which me and my wife have done a few. They're pretty fun if you've never done them. Definitely jump into them. It's pretty cool, especially if the more people. It can get a little hectic if you too many people, because you got people yelling, do this, do that, do this, then it can get a little hectic. Or if you have someone with a really stern personality, you may want to exclude them from your group. But if you have a good core group of people that may be gamers that you play with online or anything like that, definitely go check out some of these escape rooms around town, especially if you come to Orlando. We have a ton of them. And also check out this movie. This is a pretty cool and fun movie, at least for the first, I'd say, 3/4 of the movie. Every room is pretty cool designed and has a theme and a motif that I really dig. And overall, Deborah Ann Woll, she's definitely a standout in this. She does really well on Daredevil, even though she can sometimes, and I'm not trying to be a sexist here or a basher. Sometimes she can come across as somewhat of an eyesore just because of the clothing that they give her, and they kind of make her seem outdated and that she has no money. I don't know. So sometimes I don't like the way she looked in Daredevil. She's definitely a positive point in this film. So go check it out, guys. And guys, until next time, don't forget to give that like button a good thumbs up, for good old time's sake. And guys, thank you again for all the love and support. We're almost to our goal for the year. And guys, until next time, I'm C Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.